Hello everyone and welcome back to the Millionaire House. Have you ever wondered why wine bottles are stored sideways? Or maybe you're curious about the right temperatures to store your red wines versus your white wines, or even which types of glasses to serve your wines in. Well, today I'm answering those questions and more with some fun little facts about serving wine. Okay, so one of the questions I've gotten a lot about wine is why store it sideways versus in an upright position? And it's really simple. The reason you want to store your wine bottles horizontally is because it all has to do with oxidation in your bottle. Your cork is inside your bottle because it expands and it keeps the oxygen from coming in. So when you store it in an upright position, your cork can start to dry out and it'll cause premature oxidation. So if you store it sideways, the moisture from inside the bottle will keep the cork expanded and it'll keep your bottle very, very tight until you're ready to enjoy it. Okay, so the second question that I get a lot about wine is how to store it, right? And so if you missed a YouTube video that I did a few months ago on how I did a DIY wine cellar, I'll have the link in the bio or in the description box below for you. But basically there's two different types of storage options. You can have what's called a passive wine cellar, like the one you see here, or you can have a temperature controlled cellar, which I'll talk to you about in a second. Really the only difference, a passive cellar just means that there's no temperature control. These are ideal in homes that stay cool throughout the year. If you have a cool, dark space that you can convert for your wine. This used to be a storage closet under my stairs. There's no light that gets to it, and so it was the perfect option for us. And we keep the temperature in our home really cool year-round. So our wines don't get too warm because you don't want your wines to get warm. And so this is a great option for us. Now, the types of wines that I keep in the passive cellar are kind of my everyday wines or table wines. We really open a bottle pretty much every day to share when my husband gets home from work. And so we keep our what I call everyday wines in the passive wine cellar. Now, if you've got your more expensive wines, or if you're consulting with your sommelier about wines, you're probably not going to want to store them here because they're going to need to be in a temperature controlled environment, which I'll show you next. A wine fridge is the perfect option for those bottles that you want to give a little special extra attention. And my friends over at New Air sent me this beautiful small black stainless steel wine cooler to share with you. It has a really nice, sleek, compact design and it stores up to 29 wine bottles. The dual chill zones are perfect for the storage of both my reds, which I like to store around 66 degrees, and for my whites, which I store up top around 44 degrees. The chic blue lighting can be turned on or off, making it perfect for any room in your home. Ours is going in the media room. New Air is offering my YouTube family a 15% discount with the promo code Millionaire. Okay, who's ready to talk about wine glasses? I've got a few things to share with you that hopefully you find interesting. If you learned something new, please let me know in the comments below. With so many different types of wine glasses, I used to get really confused, so I'm going to share a few things that made it fun for me. So the first thing we'll talk about real quick is the anatomy of a wine glass. So you basically have a few parts that are really important. You have the rim, which is here at the top. You have the bowl, which is where your wine sits. You have the stem, which is how you're going to hold your glass. And you have the foot of the wine glass, which is how your wine glass rests on the table. Okay, so the first thing we'll talk about is the rim of the glass. And a lot of people don't realize how important this actually is because it really contributes to the overall experience of your sips for your wine. So a good wine glass will have a rim that's very smooth. And I like to say kind of thin, although the wine glasses with the thicker rims are very functional. They can inhibit the way the wine is actually supposed to go into your mouth and hit your palate. So that is why the rim is important, because it contributes to the way that the wine flows onto your palate. Okay, so now we'll talk a little bit about the bowls of the glasses, and this could actually be its own separate little tutorial, but for the sake of keeping this fun and lighthearted, I'll just share some of the basics with you. The bowl is all about, one, helping to distribute the aroma to your nose and some of the florals to your mouth properly, depending on the types of wine that you drink. It's also really good for aerating your wine properly. So you'll typically see that glasses that are meant for red wines, you're gonna have a larger bowl because it allows the wine to open up, which is why you'll see a lot of times people swerve their glasses. They're opening up that wine. Whereas with your white wine glasses, you'll see that the bowls are a little bit thinner. And then even versus your champagne glasses, you'll see that the bowls are really thin because those are designed to keep the carbonation contained in that glass. So you'll see lots of different types of bowls for your glasses. Red wine has all sorts of different bowls. White wines, you'll find that they're mostly smaller. And then with your champagne glasses, you'll find that they are thin. Okay, you guys, so there are a lot of opinions on red wine being served out of stemless glasses versus stem glasses. So I figured I'd give you my 2 cents and then you can decide on your own what you want to do. So I've poured really good wine in 2 different glasses, and I'll tell you pros and cons for each, okay? So typically speaking, in restaurants, you'll see red wine served in a stemmed glass. So as part of the wine drinking experience, when you first open the bottle, it's opened at a certain temperature, which is usually cooler than room temperature. And as you enjoy the bottle, it starts to warm up depending on the temperature of your room, which means that different things are going to happen with aromas and florals and fruits, and you're going to experience different things throughout the bottle from beginning to end. And when you have a stemmed glass, it allows you to do that without affecting the normal temperature path of the glass. So all that means is when you're holding it down here, this glass of wine is going to very naturally open up without any help from you as you enjoy it, okay? When you drink from a non-stemmed glass, what's happening is that the warmth from your fingers and your hand is going to assist in warming that glass up probably a little bit faster than maybe the experts would say it should. And then you also have the smudging issue if you serve glass or wine from a glass with no stem. Most people don't really care about that kind of stuff, but if you're kind of OCD, then that's something that may bother you. But for your masculine guest or your guest who may be a little clumsy like myself, stemless glasses are definitely a great way to go. I serve them at my parties just because I don't want people to feel uncomfortable when I break out my pretty long stem glasses that they're gonna knock it over, and it's happened several times. So this is just a much more enjoyable way to have a glass in a relaxed setting. Something else that I wanted to point out that a lot of people may or may not know is that usually these glasses have their own measurement system that say your bartenders and stuff will use. So if you order a 6-ounce glass or an 8 or 9-ounce glass, typically speaking, when you order a 6-ounce glass, the 6 ounces stops right as the glass begins to curve up. And then if you ordered 8 or 9 ounces, usually whatever is the decor on the glass is where that cutoff is. So that's why a lot of times you'll see an etched image or a line or words on the glass, because that's kind of telling your server where to cut you off when they're pouring a serve. So I figured that'd be a fun fact that you may or may not know. And that's pretty much all I have to say about stemmed versus stemless glasses. So the glass for a mature rosé, for example, is usually short and rounded at the bottom. White wine glasses usually have a smaller bowl and almost always a stem. And red wine glasses come in a large variety with larger bowls to accommodate the wine. Okay, you guys, so I hope you learned maybe at least one fun new fact that you didn't know before. If you did, please leave it in the comments below, and that way I know if I'm going in the right direction. And until then, please drink responsibly, love, peace, and cheers.